So if you are saying, if you are anybody who is complaining, refrain from using the telephone. Yes, because it is not compulsory. If you feel that you are being overcharged, you better refrain from using it.
Welcome back to Celebs Watch 211. The video that just played is a clip of what Michael Makuei Lueth said during the 8th Governors Forum, and iRadio made a quote using his words indicating that if anybody is complaining about the high mobile tariffs or feels that they are being overcharged by the telephone service providers, then they should refrain from using the mobile phone because using a telephone is not compulsory. The quote went viral and various Junubin netizens had a field day with it as people came up with as many challenges as they could based on different situations. Some netizens took this opportunity to air out their grievances on serious or critical matters by using iRadio's logo, to which iRadio distanced themselves and asked the public to dismiss the fabrication as fake. The word eventually reached Michael Makuei Lueth, and he demanded an apology from iRadio for being misquoted without putting the quote into its rightful context. For the context, this is what Michael Makuei Lueth said before we dive into the apology.
Of course, there is a lot of complaints. People have been saying, where is Michael and why are the tariffs raised? Frankly speaking, South Sudan tariffs are the lowest in the region. They are the lowest in the region. We charge 0.4 cents per minute. Before our currency, when our currency was strong, we did not feel it. But when our currency fell, the exchange rate affected the tariffs. So the problem is we have not increased the charges, but it's the exchange rate. It is the weakness of our currency that brought us all these problems. Because the operators, they charge in South Sudanese pound. So they don't charge according to the international norms, they charge on hard currency. But you translate that hard currency into your local currency. Because of that, the charges, our tariffs go up. So the operators had been threatening, saying we are closing down some of these towers all over South Sudan, and especially the rural areas where they are losing more. They are saying we will only maintain our activities in the cities and in the towns. And we said why? They said because of we talked to the central bank. The central bank is not in a position to allocate lump sums to the operators in accordance with the central bank rate. So we left this to the central bank, and the central bank sat with the operators and they agreed that we will be charging you charge the people of South Sudan according to our bank rates, not according to the black market rates. So the prices that are, the tariffs that are being charged at present are in accordance with the bank rate. And as long as the currency continues, they will continue all the time to charge according to the bank rate. When our currency gains power and it gains momentum, the rates will automatically also begin to fall. So we had two options, either to tell the companies to close down or we let them continue in accordance with the bank rate. And we opted that the better that we continue with them and they are paid according to the bank rate.
Up to this point, I believe we can all agree that Honorable Michael Makuei Lueth was on point in terms of giving the backstory as to why the telecommunications tariff rates were being increased. As per the tariffs increment letter jointly issued by the three telecommunications companies in South Sudan back in April 2024, the South Sudanese pounds had depreciated by 300% due to inflation. As a result, this affected the South Sudan's economy, including the telecommunications sector.
So if you are saying, if you are anybody who is complaining, refrain from using the telephone. Yes, because it is not compulsory. If you feel that you are being overcharged, you better refrain from using it. And also, this will also give us the opportunity to learn how to use telephones. Because there are people who use telephones for conversing for over 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. And at the end of the day, you begin to complain, well, we are overcharged. We are not overcharged. It is you who is overspending. So, this is what I can say, Your Excellency. In the course of discussions, I will be ready to answer any of the concerns or questions that may be raised. Thank you very much.
And in response to Michael Makuei Lueth's demand, the iRadio issued a public apology on November 29, 2024. The apology reads, iRadio acknowledged that we shared part of Minister of Information, MOICT, and PS Honorable Michael Makuei Lueth's statement about telecom tariffs at the 8th Governors Forum in our social media quote dated November 27, 2024, without including the full text. While we strive to provide accurate and timely reporting, we recognize that the context of the quote has not been fully conveyed. We sincerely apologize for any misunderstanding this may have caused. Our intention is to foster open dialogue and inform our audience responsibly. We appreciate the Minister's feedback and remain committed to improving our communication practices. Thank you. Following the iRadio's public apology, Junubin reacted differently to that, with some believing that iRadio did not need to apologize for what they did because iRadio upheld media ethics in its reporting. However, in a nation such as South Sudan, where freedom of the press is limited, caution is necessary when dealing with influential figures like Michael Makuei Lueth. The person continued by saying, despite being in the wrong, Mr. Makuei Lueth demanded an apology from the media outlet for publishing his statements. In such a situation, the management of iRadio may have felt compelled to issue an apology to avoid potential consequences in a restrictive media environment. Koiti Emily also added her 2 cents, stating that, I heard there is an arrangement called marriage in which for peace to prevail, the person called husband must be willing to apologize to the one called wife for even what he hasn't done. Now, you can decide whether iRadio is the husband or the wife in a hypothetical marriage with the minister. Happy Sabbath. Another thing that I found really interesting while doing a follow-up for this story is the article written by General D, which is what he thought would have made a perfect response or a perfect way to address the issue of telecommunication tariffs increment. The government of South Sudan believes in technology and internet connectivity. We understand the tremendous need for these services in the communication sector, research and education, social connections, as well as in ensuring the flow of goods and services within the business sector. Actualizing a widespread use of fast, reliable, and affordable internet will go a long way to improving every sector of our economy, and especially in the emergency response, considering we have floods and other disasters in several parts of the country. However, given the economic meltdown brought about by the hyperinflation that we have witnessed in the last few months, our efforts to provide easy access to the internet and communication have been thwarted. We would like to assure the citizens that we are working with the telecommunication companies and other partners to ensure that the tariffs do not increase the divide we have between analog and the digital era we are moving towards. It is for this reason we have Starlink in the country. We are hopeful that we shall come up with a plan soon to ensure calls and text are affordable. We are also looking at increasing the use of postal services, which will be cheaper and convenient, especially for formal communication. Michael Makuei Lueth, Minister of Information, Telecommunication and Postal Services. This should have been the words. Here, they can use an expert language or at least the manner he should have spoken, but then they know us. They know they don't owe us a thing. They know we can't do blip even if they talk blip. Spit it on our faces because at the end of the day, we shall not question them, or if we do, they only have live bullets. It is a shame that a man who has been in the system for this long can still talk the way he does. It is a show of total disregard, and it is a disrespect to the citizens he represents. Knowing that the source of the Constitution is the will of the people, he should be ashamed he is not living up to being a lawyer. Lawyers are known to be very skilled orators, not reckless speakers. Wow. Having watched the entire video with the context under which the words quoted by iRadio were spoken by the Minister of Information, do you still believe that iRadio owes him an apology? Or is the minister misusing his powers by trying to overstep the media house and limiting their freedom of expression? Also, what are your thoughts about General D's comment that the person who is supposed to guarantee our freedom of expression and right to access information is saying that it is not a must we use telecommunication channels and is demanding apologies for words he said? One thing to note is that we've come a long way as a country, and people like Michael Makuei Lueth and other public servants or the government officials have to be very careful when addressing the public, especially when it comes to matters that are critical and of public interest. The issue of telecommunication tariffs is very essential because access to internet and good mobile services not only enables people to pass information from one person to another, but also enables researchers to do their work and make life easier for everyone. In addition, if we look at countries like Kenya, we see that a lot of youths have been able to create job opportunities not only for themselves but also for their comrades through content creation. So if we provide great internet access to people within South Sudan, we'll see some of these even criminal activities decreasing because people will have access to jobs and ways of earning a living for themselves and also for their families. Some of these crews that we call crews or gang not only join that because they like it, but because they have to earn a living. So if we have a scenario whereby people can easily make money through the ability to sit in front of camera and talk or showcase their lifestyle, then we would have improved the country by improving its economy and also improving the living standards of the people. So disregarding how people feel about the increase in the telecommunication tariffs is not only disrespectful to the people but also shows the kind of government we have in place. A government that does not really care or shows any concerns whatsoever for its citizens. That's how the message comes out. So I hope this information is going to find Michael Makuei Lueth and he will reflect about what he just did and also how he has been handling himself in this public life for the last more than 10 years that he has been in the government.